My dad lost his job. I know he will land on his feet like Sam or Cat. My cat has 9 lives, and so has my dad. I know money worth loves, but my dad is my best friend. He always lands on his feet.
This land was originally my grandfather's. Only about 3 acres, up against Route 48, near the Mexican border by the only gas station for miles. I haven't touched my grandfather's house, not that I have the money to fix it up anyways, but also it feels like part of my body. I grew up playing baseball there. I learned to ride a bike on the blacktop. Birthday parties in my fanciest red tracksuit. Grilling fresh corn, making out in the shed. Even my high school graduation party was there. My grandfather once said, "Land has all the time in the world." And also he said, "A man is not a man if he don't got a piece of land." Well, the piece of land is finally mine, and the land has all the time in the world, but I finally own something. I own the smell of the gravel. It's like the smell of something beautiful. And when he died, he left his 2 kids a pile of debt, plus blurry photos and expired Kodak 110 film. To get out from underwater with all that debt, they sold me the house. I drive a 11-year-old beater. I hardly ever eat out, but the house, it's mine. It's all mine. And every summer I buy piles of fresh corn right off the stalk from a guy on the side of the road. And I grill it every weekend, regardless if I'm going to eat it or not. Because people drop by to eat the corn and hang out. I finally have a home and a community. My grandfather's dream is my dream. And no one can take that away. Not anytime now, not never. I'm so proud of myself and proud of my community and proud of my corn. And even proud of the pictures I took of my grandpa's expired Kodak 110 film.
Can someone explain to me a credit score? How does it work? Or a credit card, for that matter. All these introductory rates that jump up at me when I'm not looking. Okay, if I'm being perfectly honest, I don't even know how to balance my checkbook. I never look at the damn thing. I just hope I added correctly. And I never understood charge card versus a credit card. In college, I opened up a charge card at the store, and I bought some stuff. Just a few things, small things, but I forgot about it. And apparently, that tanked my credit score for years. And when I finally built it up back to something halfway respectable, I got sick, and I couldn't get out from all these medical bills. And even though my health went up, my credit score just went down.
Getting these calls about a car refinancing. Or they say I lost my PIN from my bank or something. I don't really understand. But my son says it's a phishing scam. And they are phishing or something for my information. I don't really know. I guess I just don't know. Who would want to scam me? I never hurt anybody. I just always seem to get hurt. Boyfriends, my brothers and my sister, my mom and dad. They all take advantage of me. Why? Huh? Why? And now these calls about some African prince who wants me to loan him money, but he will pay me back? Is that real? Is he really a prince? I always waited for a prince, like in those movies with the prince and the stupid girl who becomes a princess. But I'm not stupid. Why would they want to scam me? I always pay my taxes and return my library books on time. I just don't know. But why would you sink so low as to scam people? I just don't know. I just don't know.
As a financial planner, my clients are like my family. I want them to build generational wealth. I want them to want for nothing. Money isn't the only thing in life and isn't worth what it once was. But Einstein said the most powerful force in the universe is compound interest, and I want my family of clients to understand their growth potential and make a plan for their future wealth. My husband comes from money, but they are estranged and always fighting over it. I come from very little, but my family is super close. So I never want any of my clients to deal with what my husband's gone through. It's awful to see him suffer and suffer about money. I mean, we live very, very, very comfortably. We aren't rich like our neighbors, but we are very comfortable. Middle class, maybe upper middle class, but not super uber wealthy like our rich neighbors. They have a mansion much bigger than ours. And sometimes I get a bit jealous. But my husband says it's just in my head, and I see how his family's money gets in his head, so I believe him about me and the neighbors. I just don't want to keep up with the Joneses. I want to be the Joneses. Plus, I think money is what defines you. Success, legacy. Without the money I've made, what am I? When we are old and sick, I just want to make sure that my husband is taken care of. And if I go before him, I just want to make sure he wants for nothing. Is that too much to ask?
When my mother died, my sister started to fight over all the money and the stuff in her house. I wish my mother had left us a will, estate planning of any kind. She just left us piles and piles of our old art projects from grade school and photo albums and a garage full of junk. She was always doing garage sales. She would collect junk off the internet and from other estate sales and mark it up. She loved it. She would make lemonade and biscuits, and the whole neighborhood would come out for a yard party and buy my mom's stuff. It was one of my most cherished memories from growing up. My sisters and I loved each other, and we would braid each other's hair or pick out our afros. And now they won't return my calls or texts. And what are we fighting over? Photo albums and a garage full of junk? I'm thinking about making a garage sale to honor my mom, though. Sell all the stuff in the house and donate the money to KDMS, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. It's how she died, and I know she would be happy that I do that. She got great care, but life is as it is, and her medical bills just piled up. She liquidated all her investments just to pay off her medical expenses so as not to saddle her kids with debts. And my sisters are grateful? Hell no. They just want a piece of their pie. They don't seem to realize that there is nothing left. Just junk in the garage that I am going to make a party out of. Cook some biscuits, put on her vinyl records, throw a giant block party so everyone can celebrate the life that was my mom. I'll invite my sisters. I hope they come. They can even have the old art projects and photo albums.
I learned to invest my money from reading books. I don't know why they didn't teach me in school. I never used trigonometry, but I check my investments every day. In home ec, we learned to sew a patch on a pair of jeans. And I've never done that again. Money isn't all that it was before, but frankly, all you have to do is read books and you can make enough. I used to say I wasn't rich, I was living easy, but truth is, a lot of people are poor next to me. I'm pretty damn easy living. Now I'm thinking about writing a book about investing. For kids. So they can learn how, and I can donate my time to inner city schools, teach classes on how to invest your money, because the inner city school kids can't get out of it otherwise. They're stuck in the gutter because no one will teach them how to balance a checkbook or use a credit card, let alone how to invest. I feel like I am really giving back, helping people. That makes me feel good. No one helped me, but I can definitely help others become rich. And if not rich, then at least living easy.
I fell for this thing, this Ponzi scheme. I guess if it sounds too good to be true, then maybe it is. But this didn't sound too good to be true. Just good enough. Higher returns than the banks and better than the government bonds. I don't get fooled easily. I'm not some dumb mark to be exploited, but this seemed guaranteed. And not like I trust the government anyway. They can keep their bonds and their banks. And in this Ponzi scheme, they made the fund so exclusive that I was dying to get in. When my friends got in, they were making money hand over fist. And they wouldn't shut up about it, and I just wanted in more and more. And all the charities and not-for-profits that were in the fund. I just assumed they did their due diligence. But we all really just wanted to believe the lie. If you repeat it enough, it becomes true. And they repeated it all the time, this lie, that we were making all this money. But they were taking from Peter to pay Paul, or whatever that phrase is. And when I saw what everyone was making and the charities and not-for-profits were making, well, I went all in and sank in my life savings. I would get statements every month, and I would read them over so carefully, but they were lies too. They just falsified them to make us think we were making money. Soon the house of cards toppled, and they all went to jail. But they will get out someday, and where is all the money hidden? Hopefully they will all die in jail and rot in hell. I have recovered. Thank the universe that we have recovered. It was dicey there for a bit. Now my son is living with us. We converted the basement into a home for his family. I used to think I knew the value of money, but now I'm grateful for every penny. Money isn't what it used to be when it flowed without stop, but I'm actually happier now to have my family with us in our home. Now, about money, I simply don't care.
She was a money whiz kid, a prodigy, or what do you call it? Studied engineering, worked for the Navy on missile design for aircraft carriers. Me? Well, let's just say Visa and MasterCard had a hitman looking for me. She saved me. For a decade, I bounced around from side gigs to freelancing to a failed business venture. She paid for it all. Our kid, my student loans, our condo, and later a house in the burbs, east of the tracks. She wasn't just the breadwinner, she was the mule. From the moment we stepped out of the church until the moment she walked out of our house for good. She left no forwarding address, and I was left to pick up the pieces. Every time I hear a romantic song playing on the oldies station, I just smile. Money isn't what it once was in my family. Wherever you are, I hope you're happy. I doubt that when you hear a romantic song you think of me, but I really wouldn't know. I'm guessing you found someone else. Hopefully someone to take care of you. I miss you, but I'm happy for you. Really, because I never deserved you. And you didn't have to put up with me. Maybe someday I'll land a steady job and be able to afford another girlfriend, but who knows? I'm not holding my breath. I don't want to die alone, but I also never want to feel beholden to someone again. Never, ever. No way and no how. I always just felt guilty. She made me feel that. And now I wouldn't give her that power over me. Now I wouldn't give that power away to anyone. She gave her money to me, but I gave her my sense of self.
The first year I started working, I started planning my retirement. Then I hit it big time. Had an idea, built a company, sold the company. Now I don't have to work at all. I got lucky. Sure, I work hard and all, but a lot of people work hard. I also got lucky. I'm shopping for a private jet. I can't decide. I might just get them both. Since I don't need the money anymore, I gamble a lot. Mainly Vegas, but all around the world. Monte Carlo is my favorite. I like to be what they call a whale, where I get everything comped and they treat me like a queen. And I will gamble on the stupidest stuff. Which raindrop will fall faster, and can I throw a dime into a glass from far away? I also gamble for low stakes, too. I like watching the stock ticker. It gives me a thrill. I only play penny stocks these days, but I'm serious about it. I keep charts and do my research. It's a hobby, I guess. I win and I lose, but I never take big risks at the penny stocks. Just playing for pennies, just playing for the thrill. It's better than my gambling addiction. Less stress, less ups and downs, highs and lows. I get depressed when I lose huge sums of money. People throw themselves out of casino windows, and I don't get that bad. But it gets pretty bad. I should probably stop gambling altogether, but I can't. I should probably take up woodworking. Woodworking is probably a more useful hobby.
I won the lottery. All my dreams come true, it seemed. Then the leeches came out of the woodwork. They all wanted a piece of what I got. Hands open for a handout, from my hand to theirs, but they always bit the hand that feeds them. Plus, I started buying a car, jewelry, another car, a house for my mom, a house for me, a bigger house for all my new stuff. Plus, I wanted to donate to the arts and to poor kids. Now I'm poor. I got nothing. The leeches all disappeared. They're not really my friends, it turned out. Even my family doesn't talk to me anymore. We were friends when I was poor the first time, but this second go-round, they think of me as lesser than them, even though I gave them all my money. Money brings me nothing but trouble and loss and heartache.
You know, when I was young, I was just a stupid dreamer, an idealist, a protester. Ooh. And for what? I was just a young, dumb hippie. Birkenstocks, little hacky sacks, patchouli oil, one-hitters, everywhere. I was a stupid, spoiled hippie kid, listening to music that somehow made me think that as long as we were all, in it together, everything was going to be all right. Well, it was, for most, but not for me. Finally, I cleaned up my act, made a pile of money, and I realized I'm great. I'm great being a rich person. I always had a rich person mentality anyway. It takes a lot of privilege to think you can change the world. And the world isn't going to change. Best you can do is make your money and get out when you can. I don't believe in what these modern hippies are doing now. They're more protesting, more change. But if they are still protesting what I protested then, really? What has changed? I'm not disillusioned. I'm realistic, pragmatic, and rich. And who knows? Maybe when I retire, I'll get a ranch and race horses and start wearing patchouli oil again.
For years, my wife, she handled the checkbook, 401k, paying the bills. People thought it was strange that the wife handled all the money, but she had a nose for numbers, and I was never business-minded. I used to joke, I'm a progressive guy. My wife takes care of the expenses, and I take care of the gardening and cooking, too. She was my rock. Always figuring percentages, always running calculations, always planning for the future. We planned for together. Until one day she wasn't planning or doing anything. She was gone. And now I'm here. She was my rock, always figuring it out. My rock, I tell you. When she died, and I couldn't even sort through the boxes of stuff, let alone manage the bills, she did all that. I never even checked the checkbook. Who do I have to help? The kids are all grown and moved away, and they never liked her anyway. She was my rock. Now I know money isn't everything, and that it's not worth what it once was, but every penny is precious now that my rock is gone. Yeah, I miss her every day, and talk to the photo of her in her wedding dress.
I was a young apprentice, thrilled when I got my union card. I remember being a kid, hearing my old man talk about getting his union card, and I always thought he said unitard and didn't know what he did for a living. All I know was that he left early in the morning, got home late, sometimes had to leave town for a job. I imagined he worked in the circus, getting fired out of a rocket in his unitard and cape. When I got old enough, I was kind of let down to find out he didn't work in the circus at all. But life as a union worker can be a circus too, His layoffs, furloughs, we got a budget tight for when I get that slip that says I'm off of work, particularly because my wife had kids before I met her, and I had kids before I met her, and then we had kids together, and my oldest is out of college, and a phlebotomist, and my youngest just turned 4 in June. The oldest could be the young one's mom, for God's sakes. But we are a surprisingly tight-knit crew. One giant family, just like a Frankenstein monster. We've all patched together from our other marriages and such. I never understood why they call it a broken home if you're a single parent. Before I met my wife, I did a hell of a job on my own, and there wasn't nothing broken about it. Of course, it's better now that we're together. Divide and conquer, 2 incomes and all that. She was a stay-at-home mom, homeschooling our young one, but then we needed more money.
When we inherited the family business, I never thought I'd be put in charge of the finances. Now there's a pile of bills sitting over there, and my name is misspelled on every single one. Do I still need to pay? Christ, you can't even just write a check anymore. Everybody wants you to pay online, and my PayPal account won't talk my checking account, and my checking account has a low balance fee that seems to get triggered 2-3 times a day. My kid promised me she'll be working this summer. Instead, she needs $300 almost every few weeks. She says the country's economy is too unsafe for a check, but I know she's tethered to me and my money. I know this because my daughter thinks it just flows freely like I'm her ATM.
I was born broke, and I'll probably die broke. But my kid doesn't know the difference. She never grew up with money. And we ain't got dough, but we have tons of love. Sure, money is nice and all, and love never decreases in value. Sure, we're eating tons of ramen from the convenience store, and canned soup, and government cheese. And she has holes in her socks, and dirt on her favorite hoodie sweatshirt. But she really doesn't know better, so she doesn't care. Sure, I care. Keeps me up at night. Am I a good mom? Am I letting her down? Will she grow up to hate me? Will she grow up to be broke as well? Because all our friends and neighbors are broke. It's like we're all stuck in the same trap and we ain't getting out. If I could only get a leg up, get off this hamster wheel of work, work, work without getting nowhere. Get off this broke-down house and broke-down car and broke-down neighborhood. But I don't think we ever will. My mom and grandma and great-grandma, they were all born broke and died broke. I will too. I just hope my daughter won't.
The meek shall inherit the earth and devour the rich. One day I will rise up, one day. Rise up and devour the rich. That's what my preacher told me. One day, I'm hoping to go to divinity school and become a preacher too. My church is a mega church, and I hope to drive the kind of car that my clergyman does one day. That's just the will of God. We tithe a lot of our money to the church, but I sing in the choir, so I think that's fair. I know the Bible passage in Psalms 37:11. The meek shall inherit the earth and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. But I don't think that's what the preacher preached. He preached about the meek rising up and devouring the rich people, not about peace, about getting your peace. At least that's what I think he was saying. He talks so fast and with so much emotion. Sometimes it's hard to follow. He gets possessed by these spirits and God speaks through him. He says it's okay that we don't have as much money as the church because the church offers us salvation. In turn, in the afterlife, we will have boundless riches. But I also know that someday, one day, I will rise up and be rich. And if I don't, I will rise up and devour the rich because money doesn't buy happiness. But being poor doesn't buy you anything. But I swear, I will rise up and devour the rich.
Money is not meant to keep. It's meant to live. This country is all backwards, I think. I love to travel and go to concerts. I've been all over the world and seen almost all the legends perform. Stevie Wonder was the closest I ever came to a religious experience. And the pyramids were crazy. Someone actually built those by hand. I go to all the fests. Lollapalooza, Burning Man, South by Southwest, Dirt and Dust in Schweinheim, France, Ikonica in Seville, Spain, Autumn Leaves in Makarska, Croatia. All of them. I basically have combined my love of music and my love to travel. And that costs money. You have to have it to do everything I want to do. And I know I'm lucky. But I'm also smart with my money. And Sure, money isn't what it used to be, but my grandparents live to work and I work to live. My parents, too. I am so happy to be alive when I am and make enough money to do what I want. And what I want is to eat good food, listen to great tunes, and see all the sights. You only live but just once, right? And damn it, I'm gonna make the most of it.
I'm afraid I'll be the first generation not to surpass the generations before me in terms of success. So I love it when the market crashes. That's when I rake it in. But I don't spend my money on anything. I'm frugal. A fiscal conservative. Socially, I'm progressive, but that is a dirty word now because progressives are crazy and their politics are ruining this country. I guess I'm what you'd call liberal for social causes. Like, I don't think you should hate anyone or discriminate, and that's why I like making all this money in the market because people treat you differently if you're rich. But I just save and save. I don't even use a bank. I'm afraid they'll crash and lose all my money. That's what happened to my grandparents when the banks crashed. So like them, I just stash it all under my mattress. And I don't spend it. I still rent. Never owned a thing in my life. At least I don't have to pay a co-op fee or taxes like all my friends. I don't want to give my money to the government in taxes. They just use it for war and to help lazy people. Just try, people. Do what I do and try. I don't understand poor people. This is America. My grandparents came here, made big money, lost it all, and then what did they do? Cry about it? No. They picked themselves up and rebuilt themselves in the image of America and all its possibilities. Money isn't worth what it was when my grandparents were alive. You could buy a house for nothing. Go to college for nothing. I never went to college because it was so expensive. I got into a state school, but didn't want to give my money to the state. Look at me now, richer than all those kids that made fun of me in grade school.
I took out student loans. I was basically a kid when I signed my life over. I didn't know what I was doing. And now I'm out of school, and I still don't know what I'm doing. I'm searching for a job. They say it's a market for the young and unemployed, that we can pick a job because they're searching, but I still don't know what I'm doing. You need experience to get a job, and you need a job to get experience. My dad said he got out of school with no debts, but school also cost $1,000 a year then. And he's supportive, he just doesn't get me. And I don't get him when it comes to money either. Pinching every penny, not even helping me. I'd rather he support me financially than emotionally at this point, because I don't know what I'm doing. He hates that I went to art school and took on all this debt when he thought I'd never be able to pay it back. I wanted to teach painting, though. I just haven't gotten a university appointment. I keep applying, but it doesn't seem like anyone is hiring my type, whatever that is. They want more people with professorial experience, and how can I get that if I can't get a job? So just keep trying. Sooner or later, all the old teachers will take a buyout. It's less money for the universities to buy them out and hire young people like me that are cheaper. You'd think it would be all about the best education, but in the end, these universities are big businesses. They don't pay taxes. Did you know that? They're like churches. They can buy up all the land to build these massive buildings, and they don't pay tax on any of it. Most of them have endowments big enough that they don't even need to collect tuition from these young kids. But they just let us basically sign our lives away, and they don't even guarantee us a future. No future employment. No future direction in life. No life to speak of at all. I was a kid when I basically signed my life away to go to art school. But even looking back, and I told this to my dad when we fought recently, looking back, I wouldn't do it any different. I really wouldn't. I still paint every day. And really, how much do paints cost? Sometimes I steal stuff from the art store, but I have to eat, right? I dream of selling my paintings and making big money. But realistically, I'm just happy to paint.
Money's not worth what it was.
Overhauling on an uphill climb, jackknife waiting on the other side. Midnight ride gonna end tonight. A porch light glowing, being welcome sight. Stella Lee, sweet Stella Lee, won't you wait up for me? me. Stella Lee, sweet Stella Lee. Oh, won't you wait up, won't you wait up, won't you wait up for me?
Baby, don't go yet. It's only 11:45.